Greetings, folks, and welcome to an episode of me. Well, it's going to be an episode of me sort of rambling. Um, yes, I am playing World of Warcraft, and yeah, this is a level 16 Night Elf Hunter. Um, Hate me all you want, by all means. I would have streamed my leveling, but like there were so many other people doing it, I kind of thought, why bother? Um, it's so nice being able to. That just feels right. Like having melee options, and because this doesn't exist for me in the retail version, and some of this doesn't exist either. It's disappointment. Most of this isn't a thing either. Um, anyway, on with the show. Not going to be complaining about stuff that isn't in the retail game, because technically I've got this stuff back now that I can play classic. I just don't go anywhere near the retail anymore. Right, so where was I? Oh yeah, right. So a little bit of a discussion about the Blizzard China thing. Now I know a lot of you aren't going to agree with my opinions here, and they're not pro-Chinese opinions either. However, uh, how should I phrase this? There's a disconnect. There's probably a communications disconnect between Blizzard US and Blizzard China to a certain extent. You've got to understand that there's a heck of a lot in large corporations, large global corporations like this. There's a heck of a lot of delegation of responsibilities. Um, so the guy in charge of the US department might not necessarily be able to keep tabs on everything that's going on in the Chinese side of things. Likewise, corporate folk, being the unscrupulous weasels that they are, I'm going to be honest here, none of you can disagree with that, um, they tend to make maneuvers that benefit them in their circumstances personally a lot of the time. Uh, they'll basically, they'll sell out their own boss if they think it gets them ahead, which to a certain extent is what I think's happened here, because obviously Blizzard US now look Activision Blizzard now look absolutely awful, uh, because of maneuvers made by the Chinese end of the Blizzard Entertainment Company. Some of you are going to disagree with this. I totally understand where you're coming from as well, where it's like, they should have proper control of the reins, and I fully agree. But that's just not how it is in corporations. You've got to understand there's a lot of money saving that goes on, and in order to save money, there's a lot of delegation that goes on. And obviously, responsibilities get delegated to people who are not necessarily uh, fully on board with the ideals of the parent company. Um, I think a few of you might understand that concept. I'm not sure if all of you will. Now, this is in no way me justifying Blizzard US's actions and responses and how they're working. I feel that they were nowhere near, or have been nowhere near, quick enough in stating their position and making it publicly known how they feel. Uh, we've got all the uh, all the contextualization from the Chinese side. Uh, but was Blizzard US necessarily aware of everything that was going down there? Probably not. Again, like I said, this is delegation of responsibility, and the fact is, these corporate types, they don't even trust each other. And like I said, they'd sell out their boss's gran to get ahead. There are probably I don't know how many people are actually going to listen to this, but more than likely there's a percentage of you that have experience with this and know what I'm talking about. Um, but yeah, that's my general opinion on this. Is that it's like I said, it's a delegation thing. And the fact is, these corporate types, they've got very little in the way of, or at least the really chasing the power ones have little to no scruples. They're almost psychotic in their endeavours to attain their goals, whatever they are. Yeah, I know it's really disturbing that there are people like that in the world, and it's really disturbing that they have a tendency to get ahead in the world as well. Yeah. Anyway, less of that. That's a dark and negative thing that I don't want to focus on. What I do want to focus on though is Blizzard US to a certain extent. You know, the fact is, like I said, they might not have been fully aware of all of the stuff that was going down on the Chinese side. I'm pretty certain they weren't aware of the Mandarin document that got released, because if they were, they would have proofread it first and then been like, no, you've got to take that out, you've got to take that out, you've got to take that out. They sure as hell wouldn't have had that for our country thing in there with the Blizzard logo stamped on it as a seal of approval. I guarantee you that would have been a huge no-no, and someone's probably going to get fired long term for this. Although the Chinese Party, Communist Party, are probably going to pick them up because they're probably now a very popular person amongst those guys. Again, it's political manoeuvring by certain unscrupulous individuals who want to get ahead in the world. Yeah, sometimes it's not just about like Hong Kong or China. Sometimes it's about personal motivations of people who want to get ahead. And I've got a feeling that a certain amount of that has gone on here, where a certain type of individual who you don't necessarily want in control of a company or part of a company has gotten delegated responsibility to them, and this has happened. Yeah. Okay, so that's done and out of the way with, because that's all I've got to say on that subject, really. I mean, we'll know more as the days come forward. I could be entirely wrong, and we'll know more as the days sort of wear on, and we get a clearer idea of who knew what and what the hell's going on. And the interesting thing is that the Democrats and Republicans are both managed to unite and agree on something. I never thought I'd ever see that happen ever again. How to unite and galvanise an entire political class effectively in the US, and that's a really big mistake as well, because if the Democrats and Republicans start working together in a kind of anti-Blizz movement, that's going to cause all kinds of financial issues for them long term as well. I don't know whether that will happen, but that is a possibility, a distinct possibility that's on the horizon at the moment. But yeah, so that's where I'm going to cut it today. Just a short video. And it has been a while. I haven't posted a video in 2 or 3 months, I think, to YouTube. Yeah, and the first one's on like a political hot topic. I know I'm probably a terrible person. But still, that's my opinion, and I thought I should get it out there because it is at least food for thought to a certain extent. Because anyone who understands how large multinational corporations operate, this is a thing that does happen. Yeah, so I'm going to leave it there. I'll stop recording now, and hopefully, I might actually, yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to give you a Molten Core raid. Obviously not today, but the idea is, I think the guild that I'm in at the moment is going to be raiding Molten Core at some point. I'll record it and post it up for you, obviously with some commentary and narration done by me. But yeah, with that said, have fun, play safe, and I will catch you guys later.